Of course, art has always been used to help people deal with things that are literally almost impossible to see. And that's the case with 9/11 as well. Right after the attacks on the World Trade Center, I went out and walked around my neighborhood with an old Bolex and documented storefronts, streets, different parts of my neighborhood in East Williamsburg. Not as an art project, but simply because I felt like it needed to be documented. The response was so intense, both in terms of just surging patriotism, the walls of flags, but also creatively, the way my neighbors were implementing their own expression. The kind of storefronts and windows of homes were all full of makeshift memorials and commemorations, ranging from crayon, hand-drawn flags to really installations. I forgot about that footage and just put it away, and near the end of the decade, right before Obama got elected, I was really trying to think about the now and what we had just gone through over this decade, and I remembered the footage and decided to try and find the locations and went and reshot it, all the same framing, compositions, camera, time of day, day of the year, and the piece juxtaposes next to each other those two time periods. New Yorkers' relationship to each other, I think has always been really special, and I think there's nobody that couldn't relate to the profound and beautiful ways that New Yorkers supported each other after 9/11, and I do think that while it's watered down perhaps, has stayed. It's a hard thing. I think that people are scared in ways that they don't even realize, that there's a kind of psychological, unconscious way that we're living with the wreckage of that historical time period that I really think it will take a long time for us to understand how it's changed us. There's a photograph that was published in the Times Magazine very soon after the attacks where the camera is situated in East Williamsburg looking at rooftops, and you can see the towers, all the smoke of the collapsed towers. And I've had that on my bulletin board for a decade, and I think now those towers are down, and in terms of my own practice, it almost doesn't matter that they've been extracted from that picture, they're just still there. And a consciousness of that, I don't see that there's any way that anything I do will ever not have that in my work.